at this hour. And we begin in northern Nigeria, where we understand that tragedy has struck Jigawa State. A petrol tanker exploded in Majiya Town, which is in Taura local government area, in a devastating incident on Wednesday morning, claiming the lives of at least 90 people and leaving 50 others hospitalized. The explosion occurred around 12:30 a.m. when the driver of the tanker en route from Kano to Nguru in Yobe State lost control near Khadija University, Majiya. According to the public relations officer for the police command of the Jigawa State Command, Lawan Adam, the tragedy was triggered by residents rushing to collect spilled petrol after the tanker overturned. Adam added that the residents were scooping fuel from the overturned tanker when the explosion happened, igniting a massive inferno that killed 94 people instantly. Very sad scenes there. May the souls of those who have died rest in peace. We're away from that now. The Civil Society Legislative and Advocacy Center says that over 4.5 trillion naira is lost annually to tax evasion by wealthy individuals in the country. Now, this was during the presentation of two reports by Oxfam in Nigeria, exposing the inequality being witnessed by many in the country. News Centro's Emmanuel Bogudu reports.
The launch of two reports that showcase the current conspicuous gap between the rich and the poor in Nigeria. Titled Income and Wealth, Inequality in Nigeria, Trends and Drivers, and Taxing the Rich, Nigeria Fair Money Thematic Report. Both reports raise very disturbing alarm about looming hunger and poverty in Nigeria in the light of recent policies of government.
Social bomb in Nigeria, as 99% of the wealthiest evade or avoid paying tax, while millions go hungry.
Who flies to Jigawa? The distance between Dusi, where the airport is located, and Kano is just about 150 kilometers or so, if I'm not mistaken. It's probably an hour, 30 minutes on the maximum you drive. There's an airport in Bauchi, and there's an airport in Gombe.
While reacting to the report, the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center says that the situation is being made worse by the rich who take advantage of their positions to exploit the nation.
We have noted that at least 99% of the super rich avoid paying their share of taxes. This is scandalous. All the people that you think they should be at the forefront of paying their taxes, they are not paying. They get almost everything free. Car free, fuel free, NEPA free, even ATM, phone to call free.
Poor citizens living below the poverty line are said to be at the receiving end as inflation persists in the country without reasonable wage increase.
Many women, the reason why poverty is more, from the women is because they have been ambushed. They have been denied from going to, school. You marry them up, when they are supposed to be actually in secondary school or in the university so that they can be, useful to themselves. Now you marry them up after they giving birth to 1, 2 children, you divorce them, you abandon them, or you even run away.
In a community in Boru State, I met a young girl who had dropped out of school. And I asked her why. And she said her family could not afford 3,000 naira. I need you to reflect. And 3,000 naira is just about $2. And the report stated that families and households in a day cannot afford $2. Now that 3,000 naira is needed for a term.
The stakeholders, however, gave recommendations which include policy reviews, digital innovations, public engagement, and lots more to fix the nation's tax systems. In Abuja for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bogudu.
Nigeria's Minister of Finance has expressed the federal government's commitment to growing the nation's economy and creating jobs for millions of youths in the country. The minister made this known during a high-level panel discussion on the sidelines of the Nigerian Economic Summit holding in Abuja. Perpetua Fasomi Peters reports.
The session featured Nigeria's Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, the Country Director of the World Bank, among other high-level panelists. The session themed Fiscal Reforms for a More Secure Future sought to measure government's current reforms and the impact on the state of the economy. The Finance Minister maintained that the reforms are working, especially when compared with available macroeconomic indicators.
The macroeconomic reforms are working. If you grill the World Bank on some other indicators, GDP, the budget deficit, the balance of trade, and so forth, they will tell you they're all positive, they're all going in the right direction. So what we need to do is to sustain.
Questions were asked on the attitude of government officials towards its current reforms and its plea for citizens' change of attitude.
The panelists said yesterday that the government needed to show good faith by leading by example. Is the government listening, and which areas should Nigerians expect to start seeing plugging of holes and tightening of belts so that we can see less wastage and possibly begin to see ministers looking very lean as a result of them tightening their belts?
It is not reform without end. It is not belt tightening without end. So what the government is now pivoting to what will grow the economy, create jobs, reduce poverty, which is the president's overall aim and objective.
Other panelists also sought to know measures being put in place to improve the nation's spending culture in a bid to alleviate the hardship being faced by citizens.
So once you collect more revenue, the other part of the equation is how do you spend it better? And how do you spend it to address those needs of the population? And I think that's why also it's quite important to focus on the expenditure side.
In terms of the social programs, I think it is the NEL Fund, the Nigerian Education Loan Fund. They publish exactly what they are doing. And I think same with the Consumer Credit Corps. And for the Social Investment Program direct transfers, we are preparing the kind of dashboard that would tell people exactly what has been given to whom and when.
The minister further expressed confidence that citizens will soon begin to feel the effect of government's reforms. In Abuja for News Central, I am Perpetua Fasami Peter.
And now to election matters. In preparation for the Ondo State governorship election on 16th of November, political parties have received a voters' register as mandated by Section 10(4) of the Electoral Act 2022. The National Commissioner overseeing Ondo, Ogun, and Osun states, Professor Kunle Ajayi, announced that over 2.05 million voters are registered following a comprehensive cleanup exercise. Professor Ajayi emphasized the Commission's commitment to a free, fair, and inclusive election, urging all political parties to mobilize their supporters to collect their permanent voter cards. He reminded the public that no one would be allowed to vote without a PVC, and legal action would be taken against anyone found with multiple cards. Ondo Resident Electoral Commissioner Babalola Oluwatoyin called for peaceful campaigns and collaboration in voter education, stressing the importance of maintaining the integrity of the electoral process. Meanwhile, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has urged police officers to replicate the successes of the recent Edo State election in the forthcoming Ondo State governorship election. Speaking during a quarterly conference with senior police officers in Abuja, the IGP stressed the importance of a robust security presence, calling on officers to perform their duties impartially and professionally. Egbetokun emphasized that the mission is to create a safe environment where voters can freely exercise their democratic rights without fear or intimidation. He also condemned the conduct of officers during the Edo election, attributing the peaceful outcome to their professionalism and coordination with other security agencies. And now to judicial matters. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kudirat Kekereokun, has expressed concerns over judges delaying the delivery of verdicts in cases before them. The CJN warned that Nigerians could lose confidence in the judiciary if judges continue to fail in delivering judgments within the expected time frame. Kekereokun, raised concerns about the low rate of case resolution among judges. She also criticized judges who failed to deliver a single judgment in a quarter, describing this trend as unacceptable. We'll switch gears now to security matters. The Nigerian Army has underscored the need for its personnel to improve on activities aimed at defeating the multidimensional threat to security, and that is national security. Now, these were the words of the General Officer commanding 3 Armored Division, Maxwell Kobe Cantonment, Jos, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, during the opening ceremony for the promotion examination from the rank of Master Warrant Officer to Army Warrant Officer. News Central's Chizoba Aniowe tells us more.
This yearly event draws qualified candidates from all the formations of the Nigerian Army in the country to participate in this promotion examination. Hosting this event by the 3 Division in Jos may not be unconnected with the relative peace that has been persistent on the plateau in recent time. Major General Abdusalam Abubakar is the host for this event, which held at the 3 Division Sports Complex.
Only the best can drive the efforts of the Nigerian Army towards defeating the multidimensional threats to our national security. The need to tackle these threats underscore our participation in internal security operations in aid to civil authority, and hence the need for the Nigerian Army to bring competent senior non-commissioned officers in the battlefield.
Nonetheless, these Master Warrant officers, both male and female, numbering over 200, will be tested to prove their mettle in order to contribute effectively and efficiently to the fight against insurgency in Nigeria.
During the course of this exercise, you will undergo medical examination to ascertain your fitness to undergo the rigors of the physical fitness aspect and the exercise in general. Other areas are weapon handling, current affairs, and general service knowledge, which will involve physical activities as well as written examination and oral interview.
But let me assure you that equity, fairness, and justice shall be our watchword and guiding principle in the course of this exercise. We should not entertain any fear of the capacity, integrity, and sincerity of the members involved to accomplish this all-important assignment.
As the 2024 promotion examination ends in 2 weeks, it is expected that successful candidates would become familiar with the high degree of skills and expertise needed to prosecute the war against terrorism. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Aniowe.
As part of efforts to rebuild Nigeria's northeast following years of conflict, Boru State governor has inaugurated 8 new projects across 3 local councils in southern Borno. The governor emphasized that investing in education is crucial for empowering the youth and preventing the recurrency of conflict. News Central's Umaru Kirawa completes the report.
One of the newly built 60-classroom Islamic colleges in Kwayakusar Local Council, Southern Borno, has been inaugurated. This institution, which learners have begun exploring, aims to provide quality education and promote stability in the area.
Our efforts in education are just one part of broader plan to improve the living conditions of our people. As part of our ongoing resettlement program, we are ensuring that essential social amenities are put in place to strengthen local governance. These lodges are part of a wider initiative to provide infrastructure that support governance and service delivery in local communities, with a total number of 16 government lodges constructed across the state. In the year 2025, inshallah, we'll build 100 teachers' quarters in Biu, 100 units of teachers' quarters, 100 units of teachers' quarters in Hau, 100 units of teachers' quarters in Magomeri, and 100 units of teachers' quarters in Gobio, and 100 in Maiduguri, inshallah.
10 units of 2-bedroom semi-detached bungalows for teachers were also inaugurated. This initiative addresses the pressing need for adequate housing for educators and aims to attract and retain quality teachers in the area. An ICT center in Briel, as well as 2 government lodges in Kwayakusar and Bayo local councils, were also among the projects inaugurated to support Borno's recovery phase.
If others copy and test the way you approach the development of education in Borno State, we shall really very soon reach the destination. So I thank you very much. I thank the entire people of you and Borno State in general. And indeed, I thank the organizers of this program for making it possible.
Community members expressed hope that this development will lead to improved opportunities and a stronger sense of community resilience, as Governor Zulum also commissioned a housing estate in Boru Town and a new secondary school in Tum village. In southern Borno for News Central, Umori Kirawa.
And now we move on to education. A devastating education crisis is unfolding in West and Central Africa, with millions of children forced out of school due to widespread flooding. According to Save the Children's Regional Director of Advocacy and Campaigns, Rashna Shar Litu, children are being forced to come to terms with seeing their education disrupted by the floods. Save the Children reports that the floods in Nigeria, Mali, Niger, and the Democratic Republic of Congo have displaced nearly 1 million people and damaged or destroyed numerous schools. A statement from Save the Children noted that such extreme weather events are becoming more frequent and severe due to the ongoing climate crisis. The charity is urging governments to provide alternative education options and ensure schools are better equipped to withhold future disasters. And now let's celebrate World Food Day. Nigeria's Minister of State for Agriculture and Food Security, Abdullahi Sabi, has announced a significant boost for dry season farmers as the world marks World Food Day. Sabi said the government is supporting back-to-back farming, and he added that wherever there is potential for irrigation, they are partnering with stakeholders to ensure farmers receive the necessary support. The minister visited a farm cluster in Wari to assess progress and announce plans to strengthen young farmers' clubs in schools, while expressing his excitement about the advancements made. The minister's announcement brings hope for increased food production and a more resilient agricultural sector in Nigeria. And you're welcome back. Kenya's Senate has begun debating the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua after the embattled politician lost yet another court bid to halt the process. In a historic move last week, the lower house of Parliament, the National Assembly, voted overwhelmingly to impeach Gachagua on 11 charges, including corruption and abuse of office. The 59-year-old has denied all the allegations and will continue to serve in his role until the Senate decides whether to approve his removal. The upper house started meeting last week but began formal debate on the motion on Wednesday, initially behind closed doors. A decision is expected on Thursday.